Well, let's start with this debating contest in New South Wales. It's interesting that it's called debating when it looks terribly like an exercise in intellectual conformity to me. What do you think?
Oh, look, this debate program, I withheld consent for my daughters to participate. I saw the subjects that they were going to be pushing this year, which very much rang alarm bells for me. They were subjects such as privilege, gender, I think it said identity, it's complicated, advanced Australia fair, question mark, casual racism, etc. And it just looked like a festival of critical race theory and gender identity and white privilege. And I don't want my children to be exposed to those sorts of ideologies.
Is there anything positive about Australia in this debating contest?
Well, I looked at some of the subjects and one of my friends said this could be a teaching moment, perhaps get your girls to write a debate where they're debating from, the non-woke point of view. But I don't want, the children to be shunned or marked down or shamed for what they say. They're still quite little. And no, I mean, I wouldn't think that it's a debate. The way that the subjects were framed was it was very much pushing the woke ideologies. And I think it would be a brave student, or it would, the way that they're indoctrinated into these ideas now, it would be a very unusual student that would push back on the narratives that they're trying to inculcate in the kids, I would say.
Well, you've just come through a very gruelling election campaign recently. So you would have your finger on the pulse of Australian culture in some ways. What's the attitude these days, in your opinion, towards multiculturalism? I don't think it's as positively perceived these days as our woke overlords would think it is.
Well, I think this relentless focus on race, and for anyone who is not of colour, if you're, a white Australian, you've got a colonial background, you are made to feel ashamed for the sins of the fathers. And I think it really sort of pushes this narrative that's very binary, that's very black and white. There's no nuance, there's no shades of grey. I mean, for example, my history comes from the First and Second Fleets. Those people came out here, in my view, as slaves. The females as sex slaves. They were in chains, they were starving, they were beaten, etc. They weren't coming here to eat cucumber sandwiches and wear lace petticoats and have a lovely time. So I just think that this very dictatorial binary narrative is not serving anyone, because we exist in the grey spaces. It's not, good versus evil. And that sort of seems to be what's being pushed at the moment.